Hello, everyone. This is Morgan White, and I'm discussing the book Strega Nona, which was written and illustrated by Tommy De Paola. It was published in 1975 and won a Caldecott honor in 1976. It was also voted as one of the top 100 picture books of all time in a 2012 poll, which was sponsored by the School Library Journal. So this book is one of De Paola's most famous books. It's the first in a series of books about a goodly grandmother witch type figure and her helper named Big Anthony. And it's honestly just a silly and sweet book. The illustrations are pretty simple. It has a lot of straight lines, simple representations of real animals and people and towns, or I guess realistic is the better word for it. And the colors are muted, very, very simple, and I think it's easy for children to identify what's going on based on the pictures and on the type of illustrations that De Paula used. So the overview of the story is that Strega Nona is, like I said, a goodly grandmother witch who lives in a small town in Italy, and she helps all the townspeople with whatever ailments they have. It's especially noted that she just has this magic touch that no one can refuse, and even the church people that you can see down here in the bottom of the picture come to her for remedies and to help them with things that they need. She just has this magic touch that no one can refuse. She knows what to do and can help with mostly any situation, from removing a wart, getting rid of a headache. And at one point, she needs some extra help around the house, so she hires this silly guy, Big Anthony, and he helps milk the goat and tend the garden and all those things. Well, he sees her one night making pasta in a magic pot, and she just uses a spell, and the pot makes pasta for her and uses a spell to end the boiling and bubbling of the pasta, and then blows 3 kisses towards the pot to signify the end of the spell, which Big Anthony doesn't stick around long enough to see. So he tries to tell the townspeople about it. They don't believe him. First opportunity that he gets to show them about the magic pasta pot, he does, but he forgets that the magic blowing the 3 kisses at the end to stop the magic from creating more pasta. So, of course, he feeds everybody in the town multiple times, and then the pasta keeps coming, though. It doesn't stop, and the townspeople start to get concerned. There's just this mountain and river sort of whole thing of pasta coming at everybody, and you see the nuns in the background praying, and everybody's concerned, and poor Big Anthony's done his best to stop the pasta, but nothing works. Fortunately, Strega Nona comes back in town right at the right moment, does the magic 3 kisses to get the pasta to stop, and the townspeople thank her, and then they immediately turn on Big Anthony, and they go, "String him up," which might be a severe sort of punishment for almost drowning everybody in the town with pasta, but Strega Nona, though, she has a different approach. She says, no, the punishment should fit the crime, and so she hands Big Anthony a fork and says, your punishment will be to eat all of the pasta leading back to my house, because tonight I'd really like to sleep in my own bed. And so he does. He eats all the pasta all the way back to her house. So I think one of the morals of the story, there are many morals, but if we look at Big Anthony, some of the morals are about not sticking your nose into other people's business, respecting other people's property, being willing and humble and accountable for the mistakes that you make, and accepting, a fair and just punishment for the things that you've done wrong. From Strega Nona, we learned that you should be merciful, and that your judgments shouldn't, or punishments that you might need to give others, should be as loving as possible. And that forgiveness goes a long way, even for a witch. So I just love the imagery of all the spaghetti just swallowing up the town, and just the colors. It's just such a pleasant, beautiful little book. So in all the research that I did, I couldn't find specifically where it was banned or what year or who banned the book. The only information that I could find from different sources was that in some school libraries and then town libraries, this book was banned because some people took issue with the idea of magic and of witchcraft and of witches being portrayed in positive lights. And so that was the issue that people had with it, which, if you look at the story and if you look at the author's intent, which was, I think, mostly to bring in that traditional historical factor of, in little Italian towns, if there were medicinal remedies and knowledge that were passed down through generations, and you had revered members of a little villa or of a society like Strega Nona who had this knowledge and who could help with ailments and things, that you should respect these people, that they were good people, they had good ideas, they were very, very wise. And so I think that was his point of the story, was to just bring in a little bit of his own history and to write a children's book about it, and to show that that knowledge and power and wisdom is a really good thing, especially when you use it for good. Unfortunately, though, I mean, I can see why people would want to censor or ban this book. However, I think they'd be missing the bigger point, because especially that the villain of the story is not Strega Nona at all. She's just someone who's there to help the people with their ailments, with their needs. She saves the life of her helper, even after he's abused the power of her magic pasta pot and almost ruined the town. She's merciful and she's very understanding and has a humorous solution to the issue. And so, like I said, though, the true villains of the story are the townspeople, the regular people themselves who have no mystical powers at all. They're the ones that totally blow it out of proportion and say, we should string him up or essentially kill him or hang him in some grotesque fashion. They want to punish him, which of course is not nearly as merciful and as understanding as Strega Nona. So it's kind of hypocritical and just this weird sort of twist on the story of people's misunderstanding. But really, Strega Nona is just about, it's about helping others and loving others and forgiving and being silly and fun while you go about it. So when this book was censored, I think it was just blown out of proportion and taken in the completely wrong context, because the message of the story is not to glorify witchcraft. It's simply to teach people, the revered people in the town, the people who have good answers and wisdom, they're the wise ones for a reason. So I love this book. I think it's wonderful to read, and it's silly and it's fun. And who can't love spaghetti, right?